Hello ladies, and welcome to my stress relieving workshop using Zen-doodling. I just quickly want to go through the notes that I gave you regarding Zen-doodling and doodles and Zentangles. So just a quick explanation of the difference between the two. So if you are just doodling, you're absent-mindedly, come on pen, just repeating patterns. Or I used to do eyes in class, different eyes, looking differently, just absent-mindedly sitting, drawing, and doing whatever comes to mind. So when you are doing Zentangles, as you will see in the notes, you work in a specific size, mostly square, work mostly in black and white, and you use the official Zentangle patterns that is available. It is a trademark name, so we don't use that in general talking. What you're going to create in this square is not really going to look like something, because it's mostly going to be a certain pattern that has been created for this purpose. So one of the ones that we are doing today is a official Zentangle pattern, and every pattern has its own name. This one is called Cadent. So most of the patterns is as I said, not really looking like something, and it has a repetitive action. Okay, so you will be filling the whole block with that pattern, or you can use a combination of patterns, all Zentangle related patterns. And so yeah, you are also going to concentrate on this, and in the end forget about your worries. But because you are restricted to a certain shape, you can't really be very creative, can you? So that would be something like that. Then when you go and combine the two and take all the restrictions away, you get to Zen-doodling, and this is what we are going to do. So we're not just going to absent-mindedly repeat patterns like we did in doodling. We are going to repeat patterns, but in the sense that we concentrate on what we are doing, and we are creating something specific. So but you can use anything. You can use your own patterns with no name. You can use the official Zentangle patterns, or tangles as we call them, and you can go crazy. You have freedom to do whatever your mind desires. And here you're going to concentrate on creating something specific. And while you do that, and I'm not drawing very neatly now, while you do that, you forget about what happened in the office today, what that boss of you said to you, or what the client did to upset you, or the economy, or whatever. and you're just gonna relax and do this. So a short explanation of what we're going to do today is we will go through the different patterns that I gave you. I will show you step by step how to do them. Then I will show you how you can use them. I will also show you, if you want to do the mug, how you must do that. I will show you how to add accent colors, and I will show you how to add color, but it's your choice. And then if you want to continue doing Zen-doodling, I will show you what you will need. Okay, so let's start. I want you to get this sheet out because we are going to start doing them. So first, as I said, you need a pen like a fine liner. I have a Faber-Castell pen. This is a small, I think, but you also get them, you get staplers as well, and you will see they all have a number. The smaller the number, the thinner the end is, the tip is. So if you want to invest in something like this, you can get a set. P&A, CNA will stock them, and then you have everything you need to draw. Okay, so we are going to start with number 1, 2, and then I'm going to go through them all to number 11. So have this ready. All you have to do is just follow the arrows as indicated on the pattern sheet. Okay, just going to take that away, and then we are going to start. So number 1 is a flower, and you're going to start by doing a spiral and close the spiral, and then you're going to do the petals, just in and out, in and out. And you can leave it like that, or you can do a second row of petals, a little bit bigger. If you want to make a big flower, you can do more rows. And you will see it's one continuous action most of the time. I will repeat it. If you want to, you can go in the opposite direction. So we're going in the opposite direction. Whatever works for you. Close him and first row of petals. In and out, in and out, in and out. Okay, and then the second row. And you can practice this on a piece of scrap paper until you are comfortable that you are familiar with the process of creating this flower. Okay, so that's number 1. You can pause and go and practice, or you can just continue and then go through the video again. Number 2, we can create like a tree. So we're going to start with a spiral again, but give him like a stem. Okay, spiral and give him a stem. Then we're going to continue growing our tree. Now we're going to do start with the stem part. Stem and spiral, stem and spiral, stem and spiral, stem and spiral. And you can go as big as you want. Spiral, spiral. Okay, you can also, instead of starting with the spiral, you can start with the stem. Stem, spiral, stem, spiral, stem, spiral, stem, spiral, and you can add them wherever you want to. It's your tree. There's no rules and regulations, and if your stuff doesn't look like mine, that's fine. That's what all this is all about. It's about having fun. It's about relaxing. It's not to perfect it. It's about having fun. Okay, so that is number 2. Then number 3, 4, and 5 can be used as backgrounds. I will show and explain later. So number 3 is, they're all very easy. So number 3, we're going to start with diagonal lines. This you will do mostly in a certain shape. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. Okay, and then you're going to do a small square from one line to the other, and you can color them in. This is the accent that you're creating. So line, 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 creating a square or a rectangle depending on how your shapes, your lines are. And another corner, another one, just creating. They don't have to be precise. You just make a little square on that crossing and you color him in. And when you start off and you just want to do this to relax and have fun, and not like me that's doing this for a living, it doesn't have to be neat. Doesn't have to be precise. And now I've already forgotten about the stress of making this video because I'm concentrating of doing this. Okay, so that's number 3. You can go, if you want to, in horizontal and vertical lines as well. It's up to you, and your little square is just going to be more like a diamond if you keep the paper as it is. Okay, so number 3, that's number 3. Number 4, I'm just going to do a square so that I can explain it to you, is straight lines plus minus evenly spaced from one another. You can do 3, 4, 5, how many you want, and you're going to try to do them in opposite directions. Just want to add another one there, and then and you can do whatever you want to. And freehand, freestyle, and if they're a little bit wobbly, that's also okay. Oops. This is not very neat, but I think you get to what I'm doing. Okay, number 5 is nearly the same. The only thing is we are working with round lines. And again, you can go wherever you want to go, evenly spaced plus minus. Remember, if you are going to do a muck, you don't want your lines to be too close to each other like that, if you can see there, because in the printing process that is going to become one thick line. So you want your lines a little bit spaced and not too close to each other, and you don't want them to be too light because it's going to disappear. You want them nicely done like that. Okay, so I'm not going to repeat pattern 4 and 5. I think you get the idea. They are very easy, and mine is definitely not very neat at this stage. You're going to wonder, how am I doing this if I am not working very neatly, are you? Okay, so that is number 4 and number 5. All right, so number 6, we are going to do some hearts. Not hearts yet. We are going to do the cadent, the official one. This is small little circles, evenly spaced. I normally do them about a centimeter apart, depending on how big your area is that you want to cover. Okay, so evenly spaced small little circles. They're about 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeters in diameter. So now we're going to do, just follow the direction of the arrows on your pattern sheets. So we start at the top, going out, going back in, and end at the bottom of the circle. Start at the top of the circle, going out, going in, and end at the bottom of the circle. So I'm connecting the circles. Out, in, close, 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 out, in, close. Now we want to go in that direction as well. You can either do it like this, so I'm going to start there and do that, or turn your paper around and out, in, close, out, in, close, out, in, close, out, in, close, out, in, close. You see, you turn the paper to make it easier for yourself to do the pattern. And then if you want to, you can add accents in black by coloring in that circles, and I prefer to do that because then I can neaten them so that it looks a little bit better. Okay, so that is number 6. I'll just show one row again. So little circles and connect them with each other, going out, going in from the top, ending at the bottom. And then add accent. Okay, number 7 is the heart. I'm just going to turn my paper around again. So the heart is easy. Your heart doesn't have to be perfect. Both sides doesn't have to be looking exactly the same. So we start, sorry, I'm going to be upside down for you guys now. Start with a line, and then we do the heart. One side up, in, other side up, in. Okay, Now we're doing the connection line out wherever you want him to end. Hard again. And see, mine is not exactly the same. Connection line on the other side. Or you can do it on the same side again, wherever you want to go with your hearts. Okay, so again, just a little line and your heart is hanging from him. Connection line and your heart is hanging from him. Okay, you got it, girls? Number 8 is also hearts, but we're gonna do a curved line like that, and then little heart on each, one half on each side of the line. And again, they don't have to be perfect. Just space them evenly and close them at the bottom. Don't leave them open like I do most of the time. And then here again, you can add accents by coloring in half of the heart. You can go all the way down the one side, or you can go to opposite sides. Whatever you want to do. Remember, that is what is Zen-doodling about. There's no rules. You have freedom to do what you want to do. Okay. All right. That is 6, 7, and 8. Let's go to number 9. The easiest of them all. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. And this can be used as a border on the edge of your work. Just plain simple. Number 10. Do you remember how you practiced the E when we started in school? So I am going to do the E. Just follow the arrows on your pattern sheet. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and up. Okay, to do the other side, I'm going to turn my paper around. Why complicate it for yourself? Now my E is going in there, and in there, and in there, and in that little gap, and in that little gap, and in that little gap. And again, this can be used either as a background filler or as a border. You can do just one row, you can do both, you can continue. So let's say I want to do there, and to make life easier for myself, turning it around again, and there we go. Okay, number 11 is another flower. It's supposed to be a flower. Okay, so we're going to start with a curved line like with the hearts, and then second one is in the opposite direction. Okay, now small circles like in pattern number 6. They're in the little cross, the X's. Now we're going to create the leaves. Start on one side, going up and out and down and meet there at the middle. Up and out and down and meet at the middle, end in the middle. Up and down and meet there. other side, up, out, down. And remember, you can turn the page whichever works most comfortable for you. And that one is not so neat. Okay, and to make it more realistically, we add the little vein lines. Okay, can you see them? There you go. So let's do one more. So curved line, whoops, opposite direction. Okay, small little circles. And remember, as I said, yours don't have to look like mine. If you want to leave something out, you leave it out. If you want to add something, you add something. It's absolutely your choice, and that is the freedom of Zen-doodling. Okay, and the little veins. Okay, so we are done with the 11 patterns that I showed you. You can stop the video, go through them again. You can practice them until you feel comfortable that you have them, and then you can decide what you are going to do next. So how are we going to use these patterns? You can go and create gift tags. So if you look at this one, I have used pattern 1, 7, 8 and 6. So the heart, the other heart with the curve, the flower and the cadent. All right, this one, the curved lines, the curved hearts with that pattern inside. So it's number 6 and number 8. This one we have used number 1, number 5, number 4, and you have created, see here, you can see I have used these as a background around my heart. Okay, here is number 8 and number 11, the hearts with the flower. Number 7, the hearts, I did 3, and then I've used number 4 and number 5 as fillers inside 2 of my hearts. So this can be used as little gift tags. You punch in a hole, add a ribbon and add it to a gift. Here is number 10 and number 9. Just plain easy. Number 2 all on its own. Fill the whole gift tag. Yeah, number 3 has been used as a background around my heart. And okay, I have cooked a little bit. I have used a ruler, which you normally don't use in Zen-doodling. It's all supposed to be freehand style, but because I have to go from this side, skip the heart, go through there and end up on the other side, I prefer using a ruler so that I know I don't start here and I end up there. Okay, so don't tell, but yeah. So I've used number 1, the flower, I've added number 2, and I've added number 3 as a background. So that is how I've used the various patterns. So if you don't want to make gift tags, you can go and do a heart. Okay, fill the heart with any pattern you want. You can do number 2, you can start with number 1, which is the flower, spiral, the petals, and add another row of petals. And if you want to, add another row. And now I'm making them with a little sharp point. So whatever you want to do. So basically I'm trying to fill my heart, and that one came out very, very bad. Okay, now you can fill the background with, for instance, let's do number 2. You see how easy it is? And I'm not stressed anymore. I am just concentrating on enjoying myself, and my heart is done. Okay, you can do a square, you don't have to do a heart. What am I going to do in the square? Oh, I don't know. Let's do number 6. And I'm making my circles, and they are not very neat. Now I'm going to try to be in a straight line with that, so that I have the same amount of circles on the opposite side, and the same here. Because what am I doing? I am creating a frame. You remember I asked you to bring a quote with you? We're going to use him now. It's optional, you don't have to. So this pattern is a very nice frame. And you see my circles are not very neat. That's why I used to like to color them in, because then I can make them nice and neat. Okay. I hope you are still enjoying this. I am. And we are just connecting all the circles. As I said, you can turn the page to help you. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I am just gonna continue the lines as if the next dot was there. Okay, just to end it off nicely. Okay, a nice border. And now you use your quote. I can and I will. Okay, turn it around, and there you go. That's in a square. You can also go and do your name or a word or whatever you want to. So here I have done an H, and now you can do the patterns inside of the H. So what are we going to do? Let's do number, I think it's 5. Yes. You can see there what I'm doing. And I just continue going couple, and then I go in the opposite direction. Yeah, you can also add accents. So what I like to do is the little first one, the little small one, color him in. If you want to, up to you. You don't have to. Okay, I'm not going to go all the way. I'm going to start at the top now, and I am doing number 7. Oops, and that's a small heart. And let's add one more there. And another one. Okay. And so you can continue filling your letter, or you can do a whole word like that. Now, you have seen that I have used the word string. So what is a string? A string is normally done with a pencil, very lightly. What you want to do is you want to divide your area, your shape, whatever you're going to do, into sections so that you can use your different patterns that you have. In that, it will help you to decide where to go, what. But this is just a guideline. It's not a definite you have to do it this way. So you're going to lightly do a pattern, and if you can't see that, I'm just going to add more pressure. Okay, so this I am going to rub out at the light when I'm done. That is just to help me. So what I'm going to do now, it's easier for me to decide how am I going to use my different patterns in this, let's call it a bookmark. So let's say in here I can go and do number 6. I love him, I use him a lot, and I'm already coloring in my small circles, connecting them. Okay, so what can I do now? I can create from there number 8. So that connection line that I would normally use from one dot to the another becomes my curved line for my hearts in number 8. And remember, the string lines to give you directions of what to do. Okay, not very neat, but there we go. And I can continue doing this, going up. And I'm going to add one there. And I am not going to fit one in there. This space is too small. Okay, so what are we doing here? We can go and do number 2. You see how I've used the bottom of that line to start number 2? And now I have this whole area here to fill with number 2, so I am going to go a little bigger with my spirals. There you go. Okay, so in number 3, in this part, let's do number 1, my spiral and my first row of petals. And I'm going to leave him like that, but I'm going to do a second one, spiral, first row of petals, and then add another row of petals. Okay, and what we can do is we can go from here and add number 2 again, or part of number 2, just to sort of connect this part with that part, so that it doesn't look like something random stuck down here. Alright, so I have a gap here between these, so now I'm going to connect that line there, and I'm going to add another line. So that is my string line that I did, but let's connect the hearts with the next one. So it's one continued pattern. You see that? All right. Here at the bottom, it's 2 different sections, but I don't have to keep it like 2 different sections. So let's do the E and turn him around and do another E, and I'm going to turn him around again, and there's still a gap there. So what are we going to do? We're going to add more of number 2, just and that's it. Okay, right, are you enjoying it? The next one, if you want to do a mug, I gave you this as well in your notes. Now you're going to ask me, what are these 3 little lines? there. Don't know if you can see them, but they are there. So what's going to happen is this whole area is going to cover the muck. All right. For instance, like this. Okay, the whole muck. But just remember, centimeter next to the ear of the muck, I can't print there. So your design is going to end there. If you want to cover the whole muck, okay, and you see, I've used my favorite pattern again. There you go. Okay, so on this muck, I've put words on one side, and I've put words and a heart on the other side. So if you want this to be nice in the middle, so that if you hold your muck in your hand, this is in the middle and not off-centered. You want it nicely. So that little line there is indicating the middle here. Okay? The middle line is showing that when you have your muck like this, here's the ear, the middle of the muck is right opposite of him. So if you want your quote to be there in the middle, nobody's going to see it if you hold your muck in your hand. Okay, so it's going to be here. If you want to see your muck and you are right-handed, you want to place your quote where you can see it when you hold it in your hand. Okay, so let's see. You can fill the whole area, or you can just do one side. You don't have to cover the whole thing. All right, and it's starting to rain. I hope you can still hear me. If you look at this that I also gave you, it's two different samples of how you can do your muck. In the top one, I used a string. Okay, then I folded each little bubble with a pattern. I've put my quote in the middle, so mine is going to be in the middle of my muck, so right across from the ear. Okay, this one I've put my quote here, so when I hold my hand in my right hand, my muck in my right hand, I am going to see the quote. If you're left-handed and you want to see the quote when you hold your muck in your left hand, you want to put him on the opposite side. Okay, just keep that in mind. So, random string, and there's my E, number 10. There's the various hearts. There's number 3 as a background, number 1. That's number 4, more number 1, number 4, and number 3, and there's number 5. Okay, bottom one, I use this as a frame for my quote. Then the E's at the top and the bottom, some hearts and some flowers. Just whatever you want to do. As I said, you can fill the whole area, or you can just do one little area with one little design on it. You don't have to do the whole thing. Okay, so you want to add some accents. We already sort of discussed that. Let me just get one of the designs here that we practice on. My flower in my heart. Okay, I want to add some black accents just to make it nicer. So I'm just going to go over my lines again to neaten them. And remember, I said do this slowly, because if you by accident do a double line, you can just color it in and make that whole section a little bit thicker. Okay, in the process I neaten it as well. Okay, now I am going to color in the first row of petals. You don't have to add black accents. I just feel sometimes it just gives a little bit of definition. You don't have to do it. It's up to you. It's your choice. I did not think it's gonna rain today. And yes, it's a zinc roof. I work in my Wendy, and the Wendy is my office. So hot in the summer, cold in the winter. As I said, you don't have to add the black accent if you don't want to. And there I made a double line, so I am just going to neaten that. Just neatening my petal lines. And if you need a cup of coffee, pause the video, go make yourself a cup of coffee, and come back and continue. Okay, and we're just going to neaten this petal as well. And I made double lines again. And you see, I still make mistakes, and I've been doing this for a while. So please don't worry if you make any mistakes. It's not about the end result. It's about the process of repeating patterns and forgetting about all that stuff that's going on outside. Like the rain that's spoiling my sound effects. I'm not ungrateful for the rain, but I did not plan on the rain. Okay, so I'm quickly going to add some color. Now, I had been spoiled. Faber-Castell brush pens. It's a pen, but the tip looked like a small brush. They're a bit expensive, so if you want to continue doing this, it's a good investment, but you don't need it. Okay, so we're gonna add some color. They're nice and soft. Also available at P&A. I haven't been to a C&A in a while, so but I know P&A has them. Okay, you can also use gel pens. This is plain gel pens, and they also color nicely, better than normal pens. But if you only have normal pens, that's what you're going to use. The idea is to use what you have, and if you want to do this permanently, add new items as you can afford it. And build up your variety. Okay, so that was a gel pen. If you don't have that, color pencils. Oh, they need some sharpening. Okay, So just normal color pencils. Okay, these are the water soluble ones. So what you do is you color. They always come with a small brush. You dip your brush in some water, and I have some water here, and oops, too much water, and you get like a watercolor effect, soft and nice. Okay, that is if you want to add some color. You can also use like this, where I have used watercolor paints, you know, the cheap ones with the little different colors and a brush, cheap brush. You can use those. Did some watercolors, let it dry, and then I've done my Zen-doodling on top with my quote. Right, the same with this one. Okay, here is your normal hardcover book, the black and red ones, you know. I've painted the cover white with normal craft paint, and then I did my Zen-doodling on top, and in this case I've used my brush pens, the ones with the brush tip, soft tip. I've used them to color in the book, my cover. Now you can use this as a journal or a recipe book, excuse me, whatever you want to, and you have done the outside. So you don't just have to do random papers that you're going to throw away or don't know what to do with them. You can make your gift tags, you can make bookmarks, give it as gifts, and you can make some journal covers. All right, the other ones that you saw in the beginning is a small little canvas. Some craft shops have them. Did my design on them with my black pen, add some accents and colored them in with my brush pen, or you can use watercolors, doesn't matter. Same with that one. Right, if you want to continue doing this and you want it to do it in a specific book, a doodle diary, yes, that's what we call it, but they call it a art journal if you go to P&A. The paper is a bit thicker. You want a paper like 120 gram paper. It's nice and thick, and when you color in and use water soluble pencils or water based paints, the colors won't go through the paper. So don't go for paper like normal paper, typing paper that's 80 grams. It's too thin, your color will bleed through. Okay, so this is the book that I started with ages ago. You see, this is just normal doodling, sitting in a meeting doodling. Okay, there's my eye. All right, okay, playing around with different pens, some flowers, some color, I just want to show you, there's my heart and my favorite pattern. Okay, so a book like this is nice to have when you want to continue doing this and just practice. Then if you want to make something for friends, you can go this way. All right, okay, book, and as I said, you can start with a wrong pen, with a fine liner, if you have one. A Sharpie with a thin point is also fine. And if you seriously want to, these are, let me quickly show you. This is a 05. It's quite, I don't know if you can see it, thick. Let's get a piece of paper here. And when you draw a line, it's already going to be a thick line. Okay. Versus a 05 is very thin. Can you see that? It's very thin. I normally use an 02. Just want to see if there's an 02 in the set. That's an 07. 07 is thicker than the 05. So there's a 03. This is a nice size to draw with. Okay, right. So if you seriously want to do this, a set like this is very nice to have, because I'm not going to put them back now. They have to go in a certain way. Nice to have, because then you can play around with different thickness lines and stuff like that. Plus a doodle diary. Okay. On the notes that you received is my 2 Facebook pages info, Gigi's Bohemian Rhapsody, where I will advertise the classes, and on Gigi's Printable Art you will see what I do with my Zen doodles. I put them on mugs, I put them on bags, scatter cushions, and you will see the different designs that I have. Just go and have a look. There's a prettier, there is some skulls, there's some shoes, there is farm theme, yeah, so lots of different shapes and items that I do my Zen doodling in, but that is what I do every day. Right, okay, I hope you enjoyed this. It's just over an hour. Have fun, and